Bitcoin and Ethereum are setting up to have a massive 2024. This is the final Friday stream of the year. We're looking at some charts. We're looking at coins leaving exchanges. And not only that, we have a Tether print that just happened, baby. It's time to discover crypto.
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special. You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
All right, they dared me to say baby for the next 5 sentences. I'm not going to do it. Tim, how are you doing? You had a wonderful day with the fam, with the baby. Yeah. Everything's going good. How are the trades going?
So far, so good. I mean, I'm in a couple right now. They're in the red, but they're longer term ones. They're the ones that we're looking at maybe for pushes up to new highs for the year. Entered yesterday after a lot of dips, but you know we actually had a nice little rally last night. China pumped the market here, and then this morning got some more volatility. We're discussing this right before we're going live here. Trading right now, if you're looking at short term trades, it is messy out there. Lots of choppiness. Coming into some news we're talking about later happening today.
Yeah, a lot of messiness. Be careful out there. It's like walking on a floor of baby oil, everybody. Yeah. You might fall and hurt yourself, so you got to be careful out there. But we're going to look at some charts. We're going to look at some stories. We have some with the Congress. We have some with India. We are going to talk about ETH L2s as well. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Let's just go straight into the market watch, everybody. I think it's a good time to see. All right, we're going to refresh. We want to make sure we have the freshest data because crypto is so volatile. And Bitcoin is moving up slightly, while Ethereum is largely flat. And you can see there really isn't too much movement until you get to Solana, and Solana is still making green candles, everybody. It is up 8.5% so far. Still just, kind of bucking the trend. Oh, it must turn around. Drop from 120 to below 100, and then just is shaking off all the bear sentiment. How are you feeling about Solana right now?
Solana's a tricky one. Solana pumping right now this morning. I debated yesterday. I actually entered 4 different longs. Took profit on AVAX long because I didn't like we hit a level of resistance. But Solana was right there on the cusp of being the one to make the bet for me. And I just decided, you know what? No, I think these other ones are going to have better runs. And Solana has had the best performance of the 5 that I was considering. So a little bit depressed about that one. Missed out an opportunity. Would have taken the profit this morning right there when we hit 109.
C90. Let's take to see if DZ can buy lunch or maybe a baby steak. I haven't opened a trade yet today. I'm looking. It's like Tim said. I really didn't see anything. I like to try to make a profitable trade if I can. If I don't see a trade, I won't open a trade. But if you've been trading some of these top gainers, you're feeling pretty good. Unless you try to short, of course. Say is up 32%. I'm feeling better and better about calling this. This was in our 10K portfolio video. I said, guys, we need to get some riskier L1s if you want some real gains. And, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're going to pump. But I actually identified Say as, maybe an undervalued gem. Came out a couple weeks ago. It is up 75% for the past week. So congrats everyone who jumped in on that one. BSV also pumping. It is up 23%. Ordi is up. And who was it that said Caspa yesterday? Was it you, Drew? It was Tim. Tim, I thought it was you, but I haven't heard.
2 days ago.
Yeah, I said, actually, I'm looking at Caspa. What are some cheaper coins? And you said, Caspa is actually in a good place right now. Yeah. And how are you? Did you buy any Caspa? Do you have any Caspa? All right, we're in the same boat, man. We're in the same boat. I want exposure to Caspa. We both looked at the Caspa price target. You're the TA guy and said, technically this is a good entry.
It was a good entry, and I was too picky, and I was looking for slightly lower that did not come. And then it took off without me. So, that's the story of my life here this week. I've made better calls than I've traded is ultimately where it is.
Catch them all with a little drive to earn play. Now I got in a little debate with move to earn. I can see drive to earn having a little bit more monetization aspects versus move to earn. That's just my 2 cents.
I think we have a story on Hive Mapper. It's part of a story that we have for this morning.
Stick around for that.
Yeah.
We also have Bonk's moving up. So hey, if you sold the red candle because you're just so certain it's going to keep going down, it is up 16%. And Mina Protocol, one of our favorite projects here in the building. And again, I just shared my thesis. A billionaire told me about it. A literal Bitcoin billionaire told me about it. sometimes that's enough in this type of market, in this type of time period. Now, maybe that wouldn't work during a bear market, but when you're in a bullish environment, the billionaires like a coin, hey, that ends up playing out. Now it's time for the coins that are completely played out for the last 24 hours. Who are the biggest losers? It's not you because you're watching the channel. It's these coins right here. It is Lido DAO leading the way, 7.4%. Woo Network, Corgi AI about to fall out of the top 100 if it's not careful. And the top 5 coin, BNB. BNB down 3.8%. I actually consolidated my BNB yesterday. I'm pulling off my KuCoin assets. I lost my trading password for a little bit. Found my trading password, and I got all my BNB. I had like 3 or 4 more BNB than I thought. So it felt pretty good. BNB right now, 315. Yeah, it's like finding an extra $1,000.
I was sitting in the office with Kelly yesterday. I think Kelly found a decent chunk of change yesterday in a wallet he had lost. So, a penny found is a penny earned.
And I have a wedding coming up. It's May 4th, 2025. So it's a ways away. It's over a year away. And every time I talk about 4-year cycles or anything where my fiance hears the alignment of the 4-year cycle in our wedding, she's like, so that means we're going to have an awesome wedding, right? I don't know. I don't know.
Hey.
Tim is the wife enjoying Grey's Anatomy.
She is. I think she got bored of it, but she took like a week away from it, and now she's back on it. She loves it again. Yes, that's her go-to show. I'm working through the Breaking Bad right now. Have not seen it. Like
we love Breaking Bad. Hey, super up on OP. Do you guys think it's a short-term hold or sell? You know what? We're gonna make you wait for the chart section. You see right there. So Tim, if you would be nice enough to do David Smith a solid for the $5 super chat, we'll have Tim look at it in the charts, and I'm a defer to Tim on this one. About to quit timeshare, be an Uber driver. It makes me 10K in crypto a month. Hey, that would be pretty nice. All right. Well, meanwhile, just share my chart real quick. We'll talk about Bitcoin and ETH. I might be looking for a little bit of a scalp long. I'm still waiting. It looks like it might keep bleeding. All right. Bitcoin whales bought the recent dip while the market panicked. So the whales are buying while everyone is freaking out and say the sky is falling. The whales are just increasing their bag. So they point out the exchanges recently have seen outflows. The indicator of interest here in the exchange net flow. This is going to keep track of the net amount of Bitcoin entering or exiting the wallets of all centralized exchanges. We have a pretty awesome graph here. It might be a little bit hard to see. I might try to zoom in a little bit. You see that giant red candle? That's Bitcoin leaving exchanges. Does that make you bullish? Let's just see here. Now, are you ready for the inverse? Are you ready to feel bearish? Let's look at the last time there's a giant red candle. This is Bitcoin leaving exchanges. It went up for a small period, and then after that, it ended up seeing a little bit of a retracement.
What's the date there?
The date is, that was the summer dump of July 23. So you know what? That was, that's not even related to anything. That was not Three Arrows Capital, Suzu's exchange. So that was when, you got to get your keys off the exchanges. That was right around the Balaji tweet. So that's more of an outlier candle, I would say. So really, you have to go back years and years to see any kind of real natural outflow of exchange. But Drew, you see Bitcoin leaving exchanges en masse. What do you think is happening? Is this BlackRock absorbing all the Bitcoin? Is this just millionaires saying, hey, there's not enough Bitcoin for every millionaire to have one. I want one. What's happening here?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a combination of whales. They see what MicroStrategy is doing, and you see, actually yesterday was Saudi Arabia. Some of the leaders in Saudi Arabia and the Arab nations are starting to have an eye for Bitcoin as well. But on top of that, it's had a descending exchange amount of Bitcoin since COVID. Literally since COVID, the exchange supply has been falling off a cliff. So it's just this ongoing process, and the real beauty of a finite resource is being found out right now. And it's taken time to play out. It'll take another, 2 or 3 years.
A finite resource. What is your rebuttal to people that say it could be infinitely divided, so it's not scarce?
There's always that argument, but one Bitcoin is always going to be made up of a certain amount of Satoshis. Now, how those Satoshis are devised and what their value is really where, in my mind, the future economy of inflation can be found is the value of Satoshi continuing to gain against all of the dying fiat currencies that we see across the world. So
and I don't think it's infinitely divisible. I think there's some net limit of a wallet, right? You can't just have Googleplex of zeros.
Could eventually be worth $1 million 100 years from now, right? If it continues to be utilized and held in this regard. But it's just the freedom lover in me has a want and a hope that it's more and more people waking up to just wanting to have control of their own money and not being so subject to insolvencies from massive corporations that over leverage themselves and get away with it every time.
Edmonton, I mean, how many freaking ways can you divide up 21 million? Like I said, someone has to code in the amount of zeros that your wallet can display or an exchange balance might be able to hold. So there is some finite limit. I think I thought of a rebuttal yesterday. I don't know if it's quite the kill shot. I got to formulate this thought a little bit more, but you would say, well, what would you say if you're in a submarine and you're running out of oxygen? And you're like, well, you don't have enough you have enough for 5 gulps of air. Yeah, but you can divide the oxygen molecules, a whole bunch of times, trillions of molecules. You need enough, okay? You need enough. So I need a whole gasp of air. I need a whole Bitcoin. I don't want some fractionalized thing. A little fractionalized thing isn't enough to move the needle. Just like one oxygen molecule isn't going to keep me alive. I need a whole gasp of air, and Bitcoin is that gasp of air that's going to keep you from drowning in the sea of poverty that the government tries to put you in. Guys, can you include Algo on the charts? I'd love to hear a little bit about this. Currently holding on long. Someone else is talking about Algo as well, being big in the Middle East. Algo's main claim to infamy, I would say, is its close relation with the Clinton Foundation. If you dive into it, it's not as close as, a lot of reports are. It's SEWA, S-E-W-A, and it's Southeastern Women's Alliance, I believe is what it stands for. And it's a women partnership led in India with clean energy. And this entity also partners with Algorand. So, it's a little bit separate. It's not like Hillary Clinton's having lunch with the CEO, which would be a turnoff for many people. I'm not going to, comment on that at all. But a couple more things on Bitcoin and Ethereum here. Record $11 billion in options expiry looms as Bitcoin shows little volatility. I think this is a record of almost $5 billion is going to exchange on Deribit alone. So this is Deribit's largest ever that we've ever seen. So 11 billion is going to expire this Friday. Both cryptos are trading well above their max pain points there. Bitcoin's max pain, it's actually a little bit below 40,000. Is there any chance? I mean, obviously anything could happen, right?
It's a good amount below
Satoshi's
40.
wallet moves. What are the odds that we're going to see that 39,500 Bitcoin? I think it's 4 p.m. today.
That's just the CME gap. I think the max pain in the article says 33,000.
Woo!
So there is a possibility of us going down to 30,000. There is not a high probability. I don't even think we're really in danger of crossing below 40,000 either. The truth is, and we'll talk about it in the charts, I think we're heading down to retest some support, back down probably 42.2-ish, 42.3-ish. We'll take a look at the charts, look at some liquidation levels as well. But I'm not really that concerned about, like, right now Bitcoin's dropping. Like an hour ago, we're up above 43. Now we're back down to 42.4. We literally started the whole show off by telling you guys it's messy, it's choppy, it's volatile today. Make sure you're watching your charts if you are trying to trade, which, by the way, I made 2 sandwiches in my little short on AVAX. They closed out.
Okay, good job. Good job.
Yeah.
We share my screen. I have not tried to open a log. Look, it just keeps bleeding. It keeps going down. So I'm not interested in jumping into this any
Cardano,
point. Yeah. So,
I'm
maybe
looking for
2
sub
minutes
60
from now.
cents, sub 60 cents, like right there below 60 cents on Cardano.
Okay, so if we actually go back to my screen here, you can see we're flirting with that 60 cent level here. This was 1 o'clock in the morning. Is this, how accurate is this? Yeah, so about 3 in the morning, it was flirting with that level, and kind of broke above that a few days ago. Okay, I like the 60 cents level.
Yeah,
to maybe enter in. Okay, all right. Well, maybe I'll do a little limit order on that. All right. Well, let's just jump into the charts. What do we have going on? And don't forget, we have the OP. Guys, I told you, remember I did a breakdown on optimism versus arbitrum. So watch yesterday's episode. I tell you which one I put my majority of my money in. But what do we got in the charts? Is there anything special happening here? Bitcoin, I mean, is it going to, 39K seems unlikely. 33 seems very unlikely.
I was going to start by kind of addressing what we were just discussing and Cardano, then we'll kind of move on. This is the liquidation heat map. I'm trying to move it over for you. It's still, hold on, I've got to zoom in a little bit more. And then here we go. Are they still not going to be able to see it? Either way, you don't have to trust me on this one. All of this greenish yellow levels right here, right there is 0.6. That means 60 cents. So I'm saying a little bit lower than that, looking at 59.6-ish, 59. When you go back over to the charts, this is the Blofin chart right here. Look what we have coming in that same exact region. This rising yellow line is a support level. Now, what's interesting, and this is where it did change a little bit for me, this white line, I'm going to just delete it because I'm going to draw it back really easily. We didn't have this one. So when we broke out here the other day, this did look like a breakout of a bull pennant. By the way, guys, this bull pennant, if it plays its full potential, we're talking about a $1 Cardano. We've talked about this before. What we have going on right now, it looks like we are coming back down to this yellow line to find some support, literally right there at or around beneath 60 cents. Now, this wick that we had here just 2 days ago, double topped, giving us, I like when we have 3 touches better than just having 2, but it's enough to go ahead and say, hey guys, we've got a potential flat top kind of developing here. I got to move that down just a hair. But this formation is still bullish. This is an ascending triangle pattern, flat top with rising support. So let's keep this support here. If we lose it, then forget what I'm talking about right here. But this is similar to the breakout we just had back in November where we had another ascending triangle attached to a flagpole. And guess what happened the last time we had this thing? We had a bull pennant that played out absolutely perfectly. Let's go ahead and draw this up for you guys. Flagpole attached to the pennant. You move it over to the breakout spot. It actually went a little bit higher. We were calling for 63 cents, give or take. We went up to 67. If we see this happen again, this time the flagpole is going to be a little taller. This is, again, going to put us probably over $1, actually. Going to give us a prediction of about $1.08. I like $1 for a take profit there anyway, but keep your eyes on that. That is what Cardano's doing. Somebody asked earlier what my thoughts are of optimism moving forward. Let's go take a look at the optimism chart. Something I really like that optimism did here over the last week. There was a trend line from back here in June that we broke through and came back down and turned into support. You guys know I've talked about this a lot with other projects. I do not like when you just have a massive candle that breaks through a resistance level and then just keeps going and never comes back down to retest it. One of the most bullish things you're looking at is a retesting of that line, and that's exactly what we did here on December 26th. So long term, I kind of like what we're looking at right now. Look at this trend line we have developing here. We could keep going to the upside, maybe push a little bit closer towards a $5 price for optimism before I think we're looking at a more significant pullback. The oscillators are going to say we're massively overextended, but the good news is on the daily chart, at least, we're not really seeing a bearish divergence. We are seeing the MACD start to keel over here just a little bit. That could change, though, depending on how we close out the day. But keep your eye on that. Even if we have a short little pullback, I like the long-term perspective, I like the next couple of weeks for optimism to maybe make at least a little bit more of a push to that upside. Let's even see here. Let's take a look at a band. We're definitely overextended here, so maybe go out to the weekly chart. We might just stay overextended. That one's not old enough to have it there. So yeah, you could take profit right now, and you would have, if you entered down here, feel good about yourself. But I'm not going to be surprised to see the entire crypto space make at least another good push to the upside. Optimism, keep an eye right there in those higher $4 to possibly $5 region for optimism. Somebody asked us to look at, I believe, Algo was another one. I don't know if I have it on my list, so I'm going to have to go ahead and type that one in.
Pay me an algo. What's his face says. Shout at him. Always like
you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm not going to talk about my personal belief systems with Algo. I'm not going to tell you guys what I think about the project.
So you don't want women in an emerging market who care about the environment to have an opportunity.
I love that that's what you think that I'm making a point about, DZ. Thank you.
No, that's what you want to attack. That's what I'm reading here.
That's not at all what I want to attack.
You hate women. Okay.
Trend lines here on Algo have
That's why you had a boy
good.
instead of a girl.
Okay, there we go. My favorite part of the show is when I'm trying to do TA and DZ keeps interrupting me. That is my absolute joy of being here every single time. Finding support on long-term bands here more recently. This is a daily chart, so it happened way back here in September. So there's two different ways to look at this one, DZ. You can look at this and say, hey, Algo is one of the coins that is not necessarily performing as well as others. Let's actually see from this little position we had in October. We're up. Actually, this is doing decently. 174. Not a top mover, but not a bottom one either. Let's take a look at our Fibonacci levels from the long-term top of bull market to bear market. This is where I could make an argument for, do we have more room to the upside for Algo? I made a similar argument for Cardano weeks before Cardano popped off, how Cardano was wrestling with that 0.236 where everything else was living up at the 0.5 to golden pocket area. Well, Algo here more recently within the last couple of weeks finally broke through 0.236 confidently. They're developing, if I were to go to smaller time frames, what does look like a potential bull. It's a bull flag, really, if I'm looking at it. That could see the price shoot up even higher here on Algo. Let's see. It's still not going to be crazy impressive, but this formation right here could see Algo shoot up to about 31.8, almost 32 cents. I have certain thoughts about the project long term, but for right now, price action, just being unemotional and looking at charts, I think there's a decent chance we're going to make a move up here towards that 0.382, up towards 33 cents. That's what I'm seeing here on the chart for Algo. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about?
I caught 60 cents, 60.2. Yeah, I'm up $5. I'm up $5. Woo, oh my God, it fell to $1.
Yeah, it's
so very, if you look here, I have very, very tight stop loss. So, I mean, I might lose a sandwich. But you know what? That means we probably broke down below. Then I'll be trying to catch another one. Don't try to catch fallen knives. But if you get a little paper cut, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Some people out there lose their hands. So you got to have really tight stop losses.
I'll tell you what I like here, DZ, for the trading. And I'm not saying that this fall is not over, but it's coming to a close, because look at this candle right here, this big blue candle, but that long wick. By the way, in my charts, the blue candles are the red candles, white candles are the green candles. Long wick here with a high volume bar. A lot of times, this is showing you that we just hit a point where everyone was selling over these last three blue candles. We finally had some bigger buyers come in, and sure enough, look at this white candle right here, move it and pump into the upside. So do we dip a little further? Is the dip over? I cannot guarantee that, but we are seeing a spot where we're wrestling right there on that yellow support band. Sure enough, Bitcoin's doing something pretty similar to what I just said. We're down here at 42.2. Could we go lower? We absolutely could.
I like that as a bouncing point, though. I like that as a mechanism of bouncing.
Even better, let's take a look here. I'm pretty sure this is going to... Yep, here we go. We got bullish divergence here on the 30-minute chart. Let's see hourly chart, what we got. Definitely got bullish divergence on the hourly chart. So we're hitting support. We're getting bullish divergence.
I like
we talk about this choppiness, but I would not be surprised, guys, if over the next hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, we start to see some green candles or white candles, depending on what your chart looks like.
They say this is business casual for Florida. I literally looked at Tim and said, I look like a Miami lawyer that represents a person who sells white powders. So yeah, we're on the same page right there.
Do a lot of Miami lawyers wear jackets, though? I feel like they wear like white, like shirts, like button-up shirts, but I don't know if they're wearing jackets down in Miami.
Well, speaking of wearing, DZ's hairline put the Lambo under concrete. Tim has a closet full of A-shirts is the appropriate name. Is that true?
Tim has a closet full of, okay.
People call them wife beaters back in the day.
But yeah, my best friend growing up was always wearing one. No, it's not true, but
it's a great garment.
It's a fun thing to think about, I guess.
Problem is.
We don't say that anymore, right? We don't say wife beaters anymore. I said it out loud, and some younger people looked at me like I was doing something wrong. So like that's a word we don't say anymore, right?
I'm really not up to date on what we're allowed to say and not allowed to say.
That's a good point, Tim. Yeah. I don't know either. I don't want. I sound like one of those olds, like, oh, you can't say, this for a whole class of people. I can see that one being retired. That one's probably not that bad. That's probably not that bad.
If you're supposed to call women birth givers, or what was what's the
I don't even
name?
know. That's a whole other can of
I don't know
worms.
what you're allowed to say and not allowed to say.
Tim, you're not supposed to get us banned.
And also, you're not supposed to call them women because what is a woman? So,
pretty good movie. Whale alert. This is one of the reasons we're seeing people, maybe feeling a little bit. I think this is part of the reason why we're seeing a lot of downward price action. Tether printed $100 million, and then it went to an unknown wallet. I think a lot of people saw this and just turbo opened along without looking at charts, without looking at the trend lines. And then, a lot of people probably getting wrecked, getting liquidated there with the higher at leverage. That'd be my 2 cents. We have a fortnight of dominance as Bitcoin fees continue to surpass Ethereum. Bitcoin Ordinal is just, taking over more and more chains, because it isn't even just Bitcoin. We're going to have some other articles where taking over, I think Algorand is the latest victim that has fallen to this. Ryan gave us the name right there. So Bitcoin fees continue to surpass Ethereum. I would say this is good because it's going to make Bitcoin mining more attractive. And then during the bear market, there's going to be some number of people who just keep those Bitcoin mining machines on, thus increasing the cost to mine one Bitcoin, thus increasing your altcoin bag in an indirect way. So this is going to be a good thing. Bitcoin fees, I think in the long run, is probably good for everyone's portfolio. Lark Davis, we do like Lark. Why don't you get him on the show? Bitcoin mining stock Marathon was the most traded stock on U.S. markets yesterday. Things are about to get real. I've been a long-term holder for Marathon. Told you guys to buy in December. I actually deployed some capital in the stock market. I don't know if you guys remember that. I bought some Coinbase. I bought some Marathon. All those picks have been doing great. I'm actually kind of curious to see what the 12-month return is on Mara. So we're going to do a live look here. We're going to hit the 1-year chart. Oh my God. I'm up 636%. Crypto is a scam, and I should have just been fully invested in stocks, everybody. Yeah, I bought December last year. I don't know the exact date, but if I bought this day last year, it's a 7.4x. So yeah, people who jumped in. Official INZ, thank you for the sandwich donation. We were kind of caught up in the charts at the time. He bought us a sandwich, Tim.
Oh,
So
how about that?
yeah, we're going to split a pub sub. What are we getting? Tell me your pub sub order right now. What is the best pub sub order? I'm a chicken tender ranch cheddar type of guy.
Do you just go straight chicken tender with the ranch, or do you do the buffalo sauce? Okay, yeah.
You got to do
That's
buffalo.
solid.
So we can split a buffalo chicken tender.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
Okay, chat. Let us know. Do you have a favorite sandwich? Two people over there.
Yeah.
Drew.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Favorites? I've never had pub subs. I'm sitting here thinking about this fried chicken sandwich though, and I haven't tried it yet.
It's pretty good.
I've been told it's amazing.
It's pretty good.
I will say DZ and I are on the same boat when it comes to the only complaint I'll make about that sandwich is they put way too many chicken tenders on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can barely bite into it.
Is that really a bad thing though?
I usually, when I get home, I take some of the tenders off. And
that long's doing pretty good, everybody. Looks like we're up. I do small amounts, and we're already up a cheap steak. So we're steak and eggs territory for at Waffle House here. So we'll continue to monitor that, and I'll move my stop loss into profit at some point. All right, let's talk about Binance, Kraken, 7 other crypto. Oh, that reminds me. We're giving away money. So we got 2 giveaways happening right now. One is just, all you got to do is post a comment on one of our videos. That is a luck-based giveaway. Really not that hard to win. Hey, all you got to do is be a little bit lucky. Mm-hmm. But at Discover Crypto, we're actually giving away to the best trader on our pinned tweet. You can see right here. Join the pod up to 5,000. I think this has it on there. $500 to the person with the highest P&L. Did I get those numbers right, Tim? Yeah. So $500 trade on there. So we'll be giving away. All you got to do is tag us
today. We have a winner to announce. Actually,
let's go ahead and give away $500 to a lucky viewer. That sounds pretty cool.
Go ahead and go to my screen here, Drew. The lucky winner this week, which wasn't lucky, talented trader right here. Eat my shorts with a winking face. Traded Arbitrum. Sell
75x.
Listen, Eat My Shorts is going, and he shorted it. That would have been weird if he had won on a long after said Eat My Shorts.
That's off a 6 cents change, $1.64 to $1.59.
Yeah. He just a little more than a 3% fall in price. He hit it just perfectly. 247 to the upside. Now, here's what I'll say. Congratulations to Eat My Shorts, but I know there are traders out there that can get higher numbers than this. Guys, if you want a free $500, easiest thing in the world, just make sure to follow this, you sign up with our Blofin account, tag us in it in your post on Twitter. And what's going to happen for Eat My Shorts, he's just going to get this. We already contacted Blofin. They're going to be depositing $500 into his Blofin account today. So congratulations to him. Again, this is a weekly thing. I don't know how long it's lasting. I don't know the end date for this, but for right now, it's weekly. Make sure you guys are getting in there, posting your trades.
Yeah. It's really not that 249%. That's not that difficult to defeat. No. I think if you get a little bit crazy,
it's an impressive.
It could be off a $5 trade.
It's an impressive trade, but I definitely know there are people that can get some higher ones than that. I almost had one the other day for about 500.
Nice.
But I don't think I'm allowed to enter. I don't think that.
That'd be. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to compete against you. That wouldn't be great.
Dude, I thought Crimson was going to get it. Crimson Caravan. He got close.
What did he get to?
I think it was like 110%.
Listen, all those are solid. Here's the cool thing: is you can win $500 and make yourself some money by doing some good trades. So,
and $15 sign up. So you deposit 100 USDT. We're going to give you 15 USDT on top of that. Imagine you put a 15% stop loss on your first trade. Sounds pretty good. All right, Binance, Kraken, and 7 other exchanges. URLs to be blocked in India. India is now the new China when it comes to X is banning crypto. Now it's time to turn bearish. So they're flagged for the lack of compliance from the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. That doesn't sound like it came from 1984. And so they are not compliant. They claim that a compliant show cause notice has been issued to these 9 different exchanges. in America. Now, I haven't looked at the specific laws. I don't know, I know it's the largest English-speaking language and country in the world, but I didn't read the laws in their native language. I don't know the details here, but in America, they keep the regulations so vague and obscure that you're trying to comply. You're Coinbase, you're Kraken, you're Mexi. You're like, I mean, they gave me this form and it just says, tell me what you want to do. And I'm like, I guess give financial freedom, regulate, act in a safe manner, not give terrorists money. Here you go. And they're like, you didn't comply. Like, well, what are you talking about? Oh, you didn't tell us about the one thing. And you're like, well, what is the thing? We're asking you, tell us the thing that we need to fill out. What do we need to do? What do we need to know? Who do we got to talk to? They're like, you didn't comply. That is not what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, well, you didn't comply. You should have complied. And so that's what we have. That's what happens in America. I think that's what's happened in India. It would make sense if that's happening in India.
That's like, have you ever had one of those accounts where you lose your password and then it says, to recover your password, please enter your password?
Yeah. You're like, well,
That's
wait a minute.
What I'm here for, buddy.
Yeah, especially with the emails, like an email password. That's where it really gets tricky. You're like, we're trying to email you the new password. You're like, no.
I can't get into it.
All right, let's see here. We got some more chat. All right, XRP Pete's in the house. We got some XRP fans. We got a lot of fans. How are we all doing today? It's Friday. It's the last Friday of the year.
Feels good, man.
Yeah. It does feel good.
Speaking of XRP, you know what's really good about the fact that they're recently becoming a stable coin? They don't really drop in price when everything else drops in price. That's one of the benefits. People forget about that. You got to think about the positive stuff.
Is that, what would you consider that? Is that a bullish metric or a bearish metric?
To not drop in price? That's pretty bullish. That's what we want
but when things, sometimes though, some would say, yeah, but when things pump, they don't pump either.
Oh,
so that'd be the downside.
Listen, I'm just trying to help XRP holders think on the positive side. Because in the pump, yeah, you're very depressed. But in these drops, your money's pretty safe. So think about it.
All right. Still in profit. It looks like it's trying to break past this like little area of support. So, or a little area of resistance. So I'm gonna go ahead. I caught around here 60.2. So I'm gonna go ahead and move my stop loss into profit. So if you're copy trading me, we all made profit today. Okay. So we all feel good about that. Blofin. I mean, I'm getting the fever, man. I'm getting the fever. All right. Let's talk about Gary Gensler here. This congressman to introduce a bill to fire SEC Chair Gary Gensler. Is called the Fire Gary Bill. That's not what it's called. It's called the SEC Stabilization Act. And it's being co-sponsored by Warren Davidson and Tom Emmer. Tom Emmer criticized the SEC for siding with Wall Street instead of the public. Drew, is that a fair assessment? Is the SEC helping Wall Street instead of the public?
I mean, not only that, I mean, it's just they're taking away our rights to transact. Like our communication, in my eyes, also involves the right to transact. I feel like transactions are a form of communication. They're kind of wrapping them into one of the same. As you heard the verbiage from Elizabeth Warren and all her moves about these transactors, right? And when I hear this conversation popping up from people that I vehemently oppose, like Warren, I can't help but put all of my weight and hope and support behind people like Davidson and Emmer.
Well, let's share my screen. This is the guy that is in charge of regulating crypto. This is the guy in charge of regulating Wall Street. Drew, where did he get his start?
It was Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs? Where's that located?
That's on Wall Street. There.
Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't seem to make much sense.
I know. It's the fox watching the hen house.
Yeah. Is there a conflict of interest here, maybe?
Right. It's pretty clear. So
I thought they were supposed to protect citizens, not the banks.
He looks like he means well, though, in this picture. So.
Someone said in the chat, he looks like he's the pilot of a UAP. I can't unsee that now. All right, judge sides with SEC in a Terraform case on security sales question. I mean, that's not really who we want to use as our champion to fight the SEC as Terraform here. Well, they argue that Quan and Terraform offered and affected transactions in unregistered security-based swaps and claims that defendants engage in fraudulent schemes to lead investors astray. Fair assessment there. There's no genuine dispute that UST Luna and Wrap Luna and MIR are securities because they are investment contracts. Yeah, like I said, this is not the champion that we want to anoint. A good defense strategy is you anoint the champion. You don't want to do the laundry list like, well, here's 20 shining examples. Then you just, you slay one and it's all done. You want to do the champion defense. And so you give them the best champion. Terra Luna is not our best champion. I think in a weird way, XRP is going to be our champion fighting the SEC, I think. I am bullish on the XRP's chances or Ripple Labs chances against the SEC. I think SEC will lose. So, hey, I'm rooting for XRP on this one, man. Nicole, he looks like the Roachman and Men in Black, just smaller. Sugar. I need sugar. Not the booger sugar. That's other Wall Street traders and other content creators. Bankrupt FTX stirs controversy. Why are you nodding your head?
I'm trying to. He doesn't really look like the Roachman, but he does look like one of those like creepy little like guys that like in the small room that Will Smith's always taking the guys in that room with all those aliens making coffee.
You know what he actually looks like when the head opens up and there's like a little mini alien? He looks like the stretched out version of that.
There we go.
I think that, yeah, that's what. Could we pull up the mini alien from Men in Black? Mini alien inside human head, MIB. That should maybe work there. Bankrupt FTX stirs controversy with a repayment plan. Folks, FTX is trying to steal your funds, okay? They stole your Bitcoin, and then they're going to say, oh, we're not going to give you, oh, you lost a Bitcoin? Well, then what should you get back? A Bitcoin. What are they going to give you back? $16,000. Bitcoin is a little bit more than $16,000. They're freezing in time the depths of a bear market price and saying, well, this is what you're owed. Is that what they would have done if the exchange went down at the height of the bull market? You bet your bottom dollar. They wouldn't say, oh, yeah, we owe you $69,000. No, they would say, no, we owe you one Bitcoin at 34K. And so this is just pure greed and corruption. It's right in front of our faces here. What does the alien look like?
Right here. You're going to share my screen. It's looking like a depressed.
Hold on here. All right, let's go. Wait. Okay. No, man. Come on, man. That was messed up. All right. I actually look more like the alien. Go to me. I mean,
it's pretty.
Damn it. They did call me an alien in middle school, or elementary
they don't
school.
call me the Druth for nothing.
Oh, man. Yeah, I guess I do look like an alien.
Sean Brown says he looks like Mr. Burns. Yeah, that's a good one.
Mr. Burns, famously modeled after a Rothschild. Do you know which one, Drew? It's a specific one. I can't remember that.
Yeah, I don't know the name.
Simpsons writers used to be based, by the way. I mean, I think the Harvard Lampoon used to be a little bit of like a countercultural thing within the Harvard campus. Now it's just, it's just toes the line there. All right, well, let's talk about Vitalik here. Vitalik lauds Arbitrum. ARB ended up rallying 22% in 24 hours. What coin between ARB and OP did I tell you to buy yesterday? I was talking to Vitalik, everybody. I knew Vitalik was going to give this comment, and I knew it was going to pump 22%. So you're welcome. I wish I would have opened a long on that instead. So Vitalik basically said something nice about Arbitrum, and then we ended up seeing a 22% pump off of that. He was talking about the move to stage 1 means that the project has become the first L2 to inch towards real decentralization. And being a stage 1 rollup means it has met the 5 requirements of becoming a completely decentralized. And again, this is just, a moving goalpost of definition. So I won't go into the details there. But yeah, Arbitrum, all the holders are looking pretty good right now. Inspiration for oil tycoon Rockefeller and his grandson David. Groening made Mr. Burns the embodiment of corporate greed. The physicality, though. I mean, grinning, I'll have to look at that C90. I could have swore, it was probably just a bullcrap Facebook post that got shared. And then I'm like, oh, it's real. That tends to happen sometimes. Thank you for fact checking me. We have an ETH L2 token soars 260% in 1 week amid a launch of an ecosystem fund. We're talking about Metis. Has anyone looked in Metis right now?
Yep. We brought it up on the basement at the beginning of the week.
Okay, what's the basement's assessment there?
I loved it. I thought I shared it. I reposted. I think that it's going to be a good project. So paying attention to it. Obviously, I got 20 coins that I need to get into. So it's within that big pile of coins that I need to find time to buy. But yeah, I'm watching Metis.
It is up 260% on the week. So a little 3.5x there. This was a Vitalik quote. I want to do the whole quote because it's pretty long, but basically he's saying, originally we wanted cryptographic keys into everyone's hands so we could do signed and encrypted email, but it failed. And then we got cryptocurrency, and now millions of people have keys publicly associated with them. But we could use these keys for other things, including going back to encrypted email and messaging. So it's a pretty interesting thought. Vitalik, I think, is in a little bit of a bubble because Vitalik, this is how he stored his crypto. He cut his passphrase into, it was the numerical. So you didn't have like the words, right? Because that's even easier to game. But then he had the long string of numbers, and then he cut that in half And then he had, I believe it was a mathematical formula that then leads to each half. And then he put each of those halves on 2 different continents. So to him, a passphrase means a lot different things than your typical grandparent who says, wait, if I lose this, I lose my retirement. Vitalik, that's a feature. Oh yeah, good. In fact, I want to split across multiple continents.
Yeah.
Your grandma doesn't want to do that, probably.
I wouldn't imagine.
I wouldn't imagine either. So I don't know how popular cryptographic keys can become. In Vitalik's eyes, it's the answer to everything. And in fact, I make it, I'm literally spanning the globe with my cryptographic keys. That's not going to be most people's experience. They're going to like put it on their notepad app on their phone.
Don't the Winklevoss twins spread it out across the country? Like, aren't they like, they split it into 4 things in like all 4 corners of the U.S.?
I can see that. And not only that, they're famously, they're rowing champions at Harvard, right? So
they
I
probably
think
row in the oceans around to go get
I was going to say it's like water-based locations. You got to like bring snorkel gear and like go down. And,
Maybe that's
some random website cites fact 2. It was not based on Jacob. Okay. I could have swore it was. So thank you, C90. Drew, didn't you think the same thing?
Oh God, yeah. I was thinking back. I can't remember the name, but I remember the face that they're likening him to. I got to look this up on the basement. Maybe we'll dive in there and see if we can get banned.
Someone's talking about Manta. I will say this. I was actually going to work on a Manta video crypto crank. The reason I paused on it, Manta is a really, really good project I'm pretty bullish on, and there's some with Celestia.org happening with them. But they have a cutoff date in January, and today's the 29th. So you only got 2 days to get into it. So I don't want to put out a video over the weekend on today, and then someone watches it on Monday, and they say, oh, I can't do all the awesome things that you're talking about in this video. I'll go ahead and give a shout out to Virtual Bacon. Virtual Bacon did a pretty good airdrop guide on this. So I played around with Manta, and I put a quarter ETH in there. It's stuck there until March. And maybe I'll get some mana rewards, maybe not. I don't recommend, just do your own research. Don't try to chase airdrop rewards. But this is one I feel pretty comfortable sharing here, even on the main channel. And if I was on the basement, I would say do it. But, we try to be a little bit more safe here. So, we have a different audience. So I want to be careful because someone might type in Mantle versus Manta or find a scam or Mantis. The next thing you know, they're buying like a Steve Irwin meme coin that drops 99%. So just be careful out there. Why did I say Mantis? What killed Steve Irwin?
It was a
Mana.
Stingray.
Mana Ray. Yeah. They're going to buy Mana, which
Yeah.
is still a Steve Irwin meme coin, and then ended up getting hosed there. So be careful. The FTX thing. Man, we got sidetracked there. FTX is trying to steal your money. Let's look at some of the prices that they're giving for the coins from the customers that they stole from. Let's just use clear language. FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, Caroline Ellison and Co. stole from their customers because customers deposit funds and then they spent those funds on lavish mansions and bribing politicians. And so now those coins are gone. And so, hey, you had a Bitcoin on there. You're owed a Bitcoin. What are they trying to give you instead? Let's find out. It's not a Bitcoin, everybody. We have it. Thanks for Drew for the highlight here. All right. Bitcoin, they're going to give you $16,000. What is it now? 42, so 61% lower. ETH, they're going to give you 1,200. Wait a minute. No, that doesn't look right. Solana and Lido.
ETH at 1,200, Solana at $16.
Oh, I'm blind, and I saw 16,000. I'm blind, y'all. Y'all got to bear with me. I have boomer eyes. You know what it was? It was the triple decimal after the dot there. That threw me off there. All right, I'm blind. All right, $16 for your $110 Solana.
That hurts.
So you had 10 Solana on there. You're owed $1,000, $1,100. They're going to give you $162. That feels pretty bad. And then, the Lido DAO, which, they give you a little bit less than what ETH was worth at the time. That really shows you how little ETH has moved, right? So Solana, you're missing out on like the 7x, ETH to less than a 2x, 1.8. Yeah, you're not even that mad if they had your ETH and they stole your ETH. You're pretty mad if they stole your Solana. You're pretty mad if they stole your Bitcoin, however. Customers, they're obviously pissed, everybody. So it's caused a little discomfort. That's a good word for when you're stealing billions of dollars from people. Yeah, I would say stealing billions usually leads to discomfort.
Yeah, a little uncomfortable.
It would chap my hide, I would say, Many customers have voiced their concerns and frustrations, stating that the valuation would significantly disadvantage them. Some sought guidance on how to file objections or reject the repayment plan, and some are looking for the CEO's home address. FTX has set a deadline. Don't do that, though. FTX has set a deadline for January 11th for customers to object to the repayment plan. If they disagree with the proposed valuation, they're encouraged to take necessary steps to voice their concerns within a specified time frame. What would you recommend? What do you two recommend? Chat, what would you recommend? I almost say I feel like it's a losing battle if you're going for Bitcoin's actual value, because it will get kicked down the road, and then next thing you know, it ends up coming to fruition 5 years from now. And then they're like, yeah, Bitcoin's 220K. You're still not going to get it, and take your, instead of 16,000, here's 40,000. You know, I don't know. Almost would rather just get funds now and have time in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I would
Drew, what would you say?
I mean, you have to kind of cut your losses. I forgot about the money Celsius still has for me.
I'm glad you said that. I forgot about the money Celsius stole for me as well. They stole 2 ETH from me, like $3,000 ETH.
I've cut those losses and just don't trust, TradFi type design systems.
I actually saw an email today from Celsius. Drew, you might be in the same boat. We got to change our home address by like February 10th or something like that. I have moved since then. You have moved since then as well, right?
Yep.
So I would recommend changing your home address now, so it's not an issue for us 5 years later when they say, oh, I see a different home address.
Right.
Well, we're going to have to put a pause on your repayment.
But it's so funny how
I can see that happening.
It's just like the criminals are so fast at capturing that, value and stealing. And then the justice moves so much slower than the crime. It drives me nuts. My family's in CSI work and court stuff. And
you know what? Let's get precogs.
Precogs?
Yeah. Let's prosecute before the crime happens.
Well, no, it's just
maybe even a social media post. I know what you were thinking.
That speedy trial would help the public right now, and it's just being arbitraged, and all the value of it's being absorbed out of the lawyers in the process.
Speaking of speedy trials, we've just eclipsed 3 million individuals in this country waiting to see if they're actual asylum seekers. So we just passed 3 million waiting within that court system.
Oh, that's nice.
I think it's up to 7-year delay.
Yeah.
That's
good.
Seems weird. All right. Well, speaking of, weird. You know what's weird? We don't have enough likes, everybody.
Yeah.
Hit that like button if you like Cardano. Oh, you felt your hand tingle. You're like, God dang it, now I have to like the button because I love that coin. What's going on with Cardano, everybody? Cardano's Chang hard fork. I don't know why I said that so hard. I blame Trump. Chang hard fork to take place in early 2024. It's his fault, isn't it, Tim?
Always.
I think
he did everything.
He did all the bad things. Here's what ADA investors need to know. So what is going on with some of the proposed changes happening to the Cardano's functionality here? Well, Emergo, this is the foundation entity behind Cardano. They've outlined its plans for 2024 with a focal point on the upcoming Chang hard fork scheduled for H1 of this year. A significant network event signifies a move towards a community-driven governance model. This is pushing Cardano further into the decentralized decision-making space there, so making it even more decentralized. And a departure from traditional governance structures, the hard fork introduces a consensus mechanism that empowers ADA holders to actively shape the trajectory here. According to Chucky Ho-Ho, as Matty B likes to call him, the creator of the blockchain and co-creator of Ethereum, Cardano has shown everyone how to stake correctly, and now it will show how to do decentralized governance correctly. I love that sentence. Cardano, to me, is the #1 crypto to stake. Super simple. You can do it through the wallet, and you custody it the entire time. Does it get better than that in crypto when it comes to staking?
No. I still think the reason why I think Cardano is going to still do really well in this bull market is because, yes, the institutional coins like Solana, Ethereum, others, they're going to do well because of the pumping from institutional money. I think Cardano will become the kind of the go-to coin for retail investors who really still care about decentralization, who really do care about security over the long haul. There's room for all of them to have some great runs. They're just going to have their funds come from different places. All
right. Well, speaking of different places, there's an All-In podcast, and they have some pretty diverse viewpoints. You got some more on the right, like David Sachs, maybe even Chamath, and you got some mercurial. It's hard to place, like Friedberg. And then you have some, I would say, almost unabashedly left, the journalism background. That's Jason Calacanis. Jason Calacanis has got some bold words for Solana holders. He says your coin is overvalued and you should dump it. What do you think about that? All right, let's see. Even stronger language. Grossly overpriced. And he loves reminding people, he was an Uber angel investor. We got to give it to him for that. So he had a discussion in the cryptoverse with his unfavorable take on Solana's sky-high valuation. He told his followers on X that Solana, which recently passed a $100 milestone and passed $46 billion valuation, is overvalued. And I think it's because he compares it to, was it Apple? I remember this tweet. I have to look at it again. All right, I keep asking folks for actual business or consumer applications that would justify Solana being worth $46 billion. And no one can name a single one that has any scale. What is their revenue or earnings? Not financial advice, but the market cap is correct here. This is completely disconnected from reality. Solana's price is completely disconnected from reality. It isn't more valuable than, say, here's the 3 examples. DoorDash, Palantir, or Spotify. Is Solana more valuable than DoorDash, Palantir, or Spotify in your mind? Should it be?
I have no idea.
It's hard to quantify that because they're doing 2 different things.
Yeah, very much so. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah, it's like, how do you value gold when, if you look at what gold's being used in televisions and cell phones and jewelry, but then if that's the only metric you use, you completely remove from the equation what's a store of value. And I think a lot of people, Solana, long-term store of value, I don't think you look at DoorDash stock as this long-term store of value because some people buy Solana to give to their kids when they die. And they're like 34 years old. They're like, okay, I don't know anyone who's doing that with checks, notes, Spotify stock. That one seems a little bit maybe untethered. Now, Apple stock, Microsoft, IBM, maybe some blue chips. But yeah, I think there's definitely people who buy Solana for their children to pass on, after they pass. Not the best 3 examples to use. IMJ, reason to use that because he was trying to get near that valuation there. Value investors are happy with 15% gains. Are you happy with 15% gains? I definitely am not. And that's why I'm diving into crypto. And, I'm seeing better than 15% gains. Maybe not in the bloodiest year of the bull market, of the 4-year cycle. Maybe not the bloodiest year. Maybe, yeah. I think all of our net worth probably went down from January 1, 22 to December 31, 22. Generally speaking, we're 100% beating the 15% on the long enough timeline. Palantir is priceless, treasure of national security. I live bought Palantir stock on stream 3 days ago. I think some of the Coinbase profits went into Palantir, some went into Hood. Meme coins unwind. Solana lost a little value is there. I think this is just more of a better question. Are meme coins dead? But then you have Bonk rising 15% today. Drew, is the meme coin craze over? Do we got to wait more months, another year? Is it dead?
Yeah, it's not over. It's just we have these seasons where it really has strong influxes of people just, flowing their capital down to meme coins. We had a meme coin season at the beginning of, or it's like about the beginning of the second quarter, 2023. We had a good surge in some meme coins. But last cycle, I felt like meme coins and then a few select projects like Chainlink were really the canary in the coal mine for the big bull market to come. You start to see some really chaotic animal spirits come into the market and making tons of money out of the blue. It drives a lot of eyes to the market, and a lot of people are seeing these insane gains, and then they go in, they muddy around, they figure out what kind of coins they want to look at, and that's how retail gets more excited. It's what I saw with Doge and Shiba Inu last cycle. So kind of a canary in the coal mine. All
right. Well, another canary in the coal mine is, what is Coinbase going to list? Is this going to be a big pumper for the year? We actually have a nice little list. This is an analyst basically gave a nice little prediction list for coins on Coinbase in 2024. I think the Coinbase pump is, not as going to be nearly as big as it was in the first quarter of 21. Last quarter of 20, but I think we're still going to get a little Coinbase pump during this 6-month retail mania period, maybe a year from now. All right, so what do we have potentially coming onto Coinbase here for DeFi? I'm just going to kind of list them out. Let us know in the chat if any of these are your favorite projects. Moonwell, Maverick Protocol, Ondo, Stargate, like Stargate, Slingshot, Definitive Finance, Reserve Protocol, Covalent, Supra, great car, Layer Zero, that one's going to be big, Symbol, Safe, Bungie, Wormhole is going to probably be big, Blackbird, ZK Link, and Mountain Protocol. Some of these I have not heard of, so maybe some ones to keep an eye out on, everyone. All right,
then,
what else?
Look at that, the D pin. I think the D pin on that section is one, I guess, Hive Mapper. Go up a little bit. Hive Mapper at the bottom, it's in red. Go down a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks, Akash, and Hive Mapper right here. All right, Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. How would you describe that to a 5th or a 5th grader, Drew?
Oh gosh, I mean, it might be similar to like the door miner for DAG, where it's like physical hardware that's sending signals and interoperable with a blockchain. That's digitally stored data that's being gathered by physical items. That's how I've seen it come. But the D-pin narrative in general is something that I've kind of seen come out of nowhere. So I am going to be watching like D-pin. It's nothing as strong as RWAs. I think RWAs are going to be a big dominating factor, but D-pin is a section I'm definitely going to be watching. So,
all right, and we're still watching that trade. It's just flat. It's $1 to the downside. We're still just kind of flirting around with some levels. We're going to keep watching it though. So come on, make a move, do something. We got 700 tokens, low fees, high rewards. Why KuCoin ranks in Platform Showdown. It's close to Americans, so I can't really recommend that one, unfortunately. Drew, you used to use it, right?
Well, we used it for the DCA bot. The DCA bot was like the best thing that we had on it. That
was a good one.
It was like interesting business insider. Are they American based? Because I thought that Business Insider was American based, and they're sitting here.
Well, they say they're a well-known multinational news publication.
Okay, yeah. That's how they're allowed to talk about it, but. Just more how we can't have nice things is how I read this.
Yeah, thanks, Gensler. Polkadot Network mints money as inscriptions drive demand. So we got Polkadot, pulling in tons and tons of fees. Looks like it was 1,218% jump for total fees just from the prior week. So seeing a 13x on fees. Some of those validators, they're making some pretty good Polkadot right now. They're getting all the dots, everybody. Why is BSV pumping, though, however? BSV pumped 60%. As traders say, Bitcoin mine tricks could explode next. Trading volume. So we had trading volumes just jumping up, as well as $4 million worth of shorts were liquidated in the last 24 hours. So it went up. Oh, it's time to short. Got liquidated, which then acts as buy pressure, which makes it go up even higher. Repeats. Next thing you know, you look and the coin's pumped 36%, and you're like, why do I have 8 red trades in a row? It's because they're getting shorted and they're getting liquidated, folks. So you got to have those tight stop losses. Chainlink, bulls on parade. The bulls in control as the price hits a yearly high. Tim, I want to ask you, TA-wise, $20 for Chainlink. Is this on the horizon? I'll look at the article real quick. Wait, you're acting like you already have it pulled up or something. No.
This is one we're talking about a potential $21 to $25 Chainlink if the pattern plays out. Now we're losing some support right now, so I think there might be there's going to be I think some blood today. We're losing some support levels right now as we make our way down. It makes sense with those expiry notices coming. Things are kind of pulling back down closer. They're not going to get anywhere towards the levels, but. We lost a falling level of former resistance. We turned it into support short term, but we still see a bullish pattern here playing out. Let's just say even the ascending trading channel here. If we just take this right here and move this up to the top, that would give us about a $23 level for that price action to happen. If we were to go back here, now I don't like this one as much because we've kind of been trading sideways on Link now for so long, but technically speaking, this would give us somewhere in the level right there below $22. 25 is going to be closer, a little bit above that. I don't remember why I had 25, but we talked about 25 the other day, I think, on Investing Bros, and maybe it had to do with a fixed range volume gap.
I was going to say, I think if you go back to previous price action, it was flirting around that level
maybe
as well.
That high right there. No, that's 29. Value area. Okay, we're talking about pretty much right around a value area high, $26, $25. in that range. There's some levels still above us. I'm still bullish. I'm just watching the markets right now as we're losing support. And then you're seeing on a lot of these time frames, like Link, for example, let's look at the oscillators. We have the MACD crossing bearish on pretty much everything. So this is Link right here, Cardano right there crossing bearish, Ethereum crossing bearish, Bitcoin crossing bearish, not just coming to the downside, but actually crossing and making moves to the downside. So do I see a lot of blood to the bottom for these coins? Not a lot, but I think there's a potential 3, 4, 5% dip coming on a lot of these altcoins.
Okay, all right. Someone asking, how's that Blofin thing you guys got going on? If you go to a Discover Crypto X account, it's our pinned tweet right here, so you can see some links there. And the code for the 15, do you remember that exactly? Deposit 100, or is just you got to just use our link?
Yeah, there is no use our link. Yeah.
Oh, super easy, super easy. So that's how that works out for you. And we're going to be doing $500 next week as well. So the best trade, highest percentage, not like, I traded $1 million and made 100K. You could trade $1 and turn that into 5. You're probably going to win. The previous winner could have turned $1 into 4. That would have been a winning trade. You could have won $500. So just tag us in that, leave a screenshot. We can verify on our end. So if you know Photoshop, be like, I could trick them. No, so we'll track it, we'll check it. Just make sure we'll see your UID to determine that. All right, I think it's time for us to go ahead and wrap it up. We got a special Q&A stream for the members we're going to do real quick. So if you're a member, get those questions ready. We're going to maybe share a DGen pick as well. And folks, I just hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next year. I hate when people say that and then I said it. But have a great year. Just think about, what is 2023 done for you? What has your plan been? And did you execute that plan? And what's your plan going to be in 2024? If you had a plan and didn't execute it, that plan played out. Should you have listened to that plan? And if that is the case, you really need to start saying, all right, maybe I do need a DCA a little bit harder. I could have and I should have. Or maybe it's, maybe my profit taking strategy wasn't quite up to snuff. So make sure you have a plan. We're working on the 2024 top cryptos to have in your portfolio. So make sure you have notifications on. Make sure you hit that like button to get us in your algorithm. We really do appreciate it. Where did we get on likes, Drew? We were 150. Did we pass 2? Okay.
Yep,
we feel pretty good about that. Thank you for helping us out there. Shake, some of you folks, all the wrenches. We'll see you folks in a little bit. Stay safe.